G'day everybody, where's Wally here? Well, Level Earth Observer, Adam, he put out a challenge to Professor Phil the other day.
So here's the challenge. I've had a bit of back and forth with Professor Phil Bear on the comment section this morning. We all know Phil. Well-known globagandist, supposed satellite scientist, supposed rocket scientist, and supposedly works for the Indian Space Agency, ISRO. So I've challenged Phil. If he's so confident, let's send a rocket straight up, laden with cameras, and let's have a look for ourselves, rather than rely on anyone else. Let's have a look for ourselves.
And, as he has done before, when the quote for several $1 million is given to Adam, he runs away, shouting over his shoulder as he goes, "See, I told you, you wouldn't do it."
I don't entirely know exactly what's going on.
Well, I was watching the ISS NADAR feed. I do this a lot, and I saw it was coming up to the UK. Well, I hit record and voila, this is what I got. Isn't that just amazing? Now, I think that's just what you're after, wasn't it, Adam? So that was rather cheap and easy, and only took me a couple of days. No rockets needed, there's already a camera sitting up there, and look what it shows. But wait, it gets even better. The Crew 2 Dragon capsule was docking with the ISS at exactly this time. And when you look at the feed, guess what they showed? Ooh, exactly the same thing. Now, this reminded me of an old video of Adam's, which I never bothered with because Adam was half asleep, and if he can't take it seriously, then why should I?
This is probably the best representation I found. Level, flat, level water. Like a level plane as such. With hills, highs, lows. The level that can be demonstrated with the substance of water. Not this silly pantomime of deceit that can't be demonstrated with any kind of practicality.
Okay, look, I can demonstrate this exactly using the cameras on the ISS. Just have a look at that view and say hi to Simon Dan while you're at it. Hi Dan. Well, that water here is actually wrapping and conforming to the outside of a cannonball Earth. I can see it. Can you, Adam? What do you think about that?
I don't entirely know exactly what's going on.
This is just a toy. It doesn't represent reality. Can't be proven at all. It's just nonsense. You know, with my crane examples, oh, Adam, it only spins once a day. Here's the thing. I don't care if this thing spins one rotation every 33 trillion years. The bottom line is, it's still supposedly spinning 1,000 miles an hour at the equator.
What the actual fact, Adam? You don't know what... Adam, it seems you don't know how to do maths. The speed is the distance over time. So the 1,000 miles per hour speed that you're always banging on about is the circumference divided by 24 hours. Now, what you just said would be very close to zero speed. Have a word with yourself, Adam. Well, okay, Adam, let's do some maths. So that's 33,000 million billion trillion. Now multiply that by 365 days a year, multiply that by 24, 1 over, because we want to divide by 1,000 divided by that, and we end up with, wow, 3 by 10 to the minus 15 miles per hour. I kind of think that's rather slow, Adam. I don't think you really thought through your statement. I really don't. Well, what do you think of that, Adam?
I don't entirely know exactly what's going on.
And for the record, I'm not part of anyone's crew. I'm just myself here. I stand alone.
Yes, I know, Adam. You're all by yourself because you've got no friends. Well, that's just sad. Adam, if you want to, why don't you debunk this camera view by either showing us what it's like outside as the ISS is passing over, or even use a live streaming webcam somewhere around the world. I'll accept that. See if you can find a time when the ISS live streaming camera doesn't match the demonstrable reality that we see down here. I think you're going to find it impossible to do, Adam.
Today we get to see the Airfix Man expose the ISS. The Airfix Man, in case you don't know, is ESA astronaut and keen photographer Paolo Nespoli. Paolo became famous for his infamous shots of an Airfix space shuttle docked to a bog roll and mosaic tile inspired International Space Station.
It's a view that has never been captured since.
I wonder why.
Adam makes another bold and yet wrong claim. He says that no one has repeated it. Does he mean what, showing the ISS from space? Well, it just seems like as the Crew Capsule 2 approached, we got exactly that. Another look at the ISS from space. So as we were watching Crew Dragon 2 approaching the ISS, this was nothing short of stunning.
And this view from Crew Dragon looking at the International Space Station, it looks like it's this very slow and steady movement, but in reality, they're moving at 17,500 miles per hour.
The rendezvous apparitions are absolutely incredible. You can sort of see the Northrop Grumman Cygnus cargo craft as well, some of the ultraflex solar arrays coming into view a little bit clearly.
Well, now we're starting to be able to see some of that superstructure. That's looking pretty darn spiffy. Look, I can see some of the cameras that are doing the filming from the ISS too. Well, Adam, I think this is just all over Red Rover for you yet again, mate. I think you're going to have to go and try harder. What next?
I don't entirely know exactly what's going on. So we joined Paolo during a live broadcast playing with his kid's toy here. And 1 minute it's free floating, the next minute it seems to have weight and direction and fall. So let's have a look. Now get ready, in a few seconds our pal now is gonna seemingly, well, let's have a look.
Okay, I'm watching it, Adam.
Italy has an Italian on the ISS.
You see it?
Okay, yeah, he fumbled it.
That's definitely got direction and an up and a down, Victor.
It definitely went up.
Victor, sorry, Paolo.
Now, the first few times I listened to this, I thought he was saying up and down vector, but he was actually saying up and down Victor. So is it Victor or Vector? What is your vector, Victor? I'm not sure. Maybe you better ask Victor what his vector is.
And again.
Right, you're going to play it again? Okay.
Nicoletta Cottone from...
Supposed to be in a weightless environment, but Paolo, i.e. the Airfix Man, is about to debunk the ISS and give us direction and a definite up and down.
Sole 24 ore. Italy has an Italian on the ISS.
Good catch, good recovery, but nah, you blew it, Paolo, you blew it. And once more.
Yeah, he fumbled it. It went up.
Sole 24 ore. Italy has an Italian on the ISS.
Oops.
Yeah, he fumbled it. It went towards his head. There's no up and down in space, remember, mate?
Wasn't a good day for the Airfix Man or the International Space Station.
But Adam, of course, it was a fumble. You know fumbles. I'm sure you're an old fumbler from way back. I bet you've been fumbling right now when you're looking at this video.
I don't entirely know exactly what's going on. For some reason, the Globe believers don't want to do the water demo that Dell's been pushing and Dan Pratt recently. Perhaps it's the results. Maybe they find that test a bit boring.
A water test? What water test? What one do you think that we're actually afraid to do? Come on, Adam, tell me. I want to know. Oh, you don't mean Danny and Dell talking about a swimming pool measuring the curve on the standing body of water thing? Oh, mate, that's been done a long time ago. How about you have a look at these? These are called tow tanks. These are where they test boat designs. So this one here in Southampton is 138 metres long. And it has a 0.6 of a millimetre of hump. And the Walter Bislin Earth Curve calculator says that's exactly what it should be. Well, almost. It's about 0.75 millimetres. Close enough for this little black duck. If you want to go for a longer one, there's one in southern Rome, the Umberto Puglisi tow tank. It's 470 metres long. And they've got 18 centimetres of drop. And they have to make that allowance and make the rails follow the Earth curve so that the towed article stays exactly at the same depth in the water, otherwise their results would be rubbish and it wouldn't work. Well, how about that? If you only got to look around and you'll find someone who's doing exactly what you say can't be done. Sorry about that, Adam. I think you better go back and show Del and Danny these things and say, boys, sorry, this whole water thing been done. It's no good. It's not going to work. Again, you're busted, mate.
Just looking at the speed of supposed space debris. This is a little snippet from NASA. Let's get some idea with this illustration of the space debris problem, which essentially goes from 57 up to 2015. Of course, it'll be a lot worse now, but you get the point. So let's have a look. Starts to get very messy by the 70s, supposedly. The 80s is just daft. The 90s is ridiculous. I mean, from the noughties onwards, look at the state of that. So that there, it's a lot worse now. We're talking another 6 years supposedly contributing towards that mess. So it's very strange that if that was true, and bizarre by the fact that when NASA, SpaceX, all these agencies have their launch, they never ever take into account space debris. So that ISS is meant to be doing ludicrous speeds around that, through that, clearly ridiculous. No one takes that into account when they launch. It's just the weather, strangely enough. They obviously, clearly, bizarrely, don't care about the space debris problem with items hurtling round the ball, supposedly. I wonder why. Could it be that it's not true and the globe's not true? We simply watch firework to space? Of course that's the case.
And then again we have Adam worrying about space debris. Well, there are two reasons why you don't need to worry about space debris, Adam. Number one, the orbits below about 500 kilometres where the ISS just happens to be are all rather self-cleaning. That is, there is enough atmosphere there to slow things down, and when they slow, they fall. And this is why the Russians and the Americans just love tossing things off the edge. Number two, space is big, really big. Yeah, you guys all know the rest. You know, Adam, those dots on the... those dots, they're not to scale. You did realise that, didn't you? And C, you might want to think about the incoming meteoroids, Adam. There's a lot more of them, shooting stars and all that. It's estimated about 25 million per day are zipping in and hitting the Earth at around 11 kilometres per second. So isn't that a bigger deal? So how does the ISS avoid all of those? Well, it's super easy, barely an inconvenience. Let's do some maths, shall we? Adam loves maths. So let's start. 25 million incoming asteroids per day. 25 million incoming pieces of space debris. Well, that's a big number. So what is the surface area of the sphere that is at orbital height? The radius plus the height of the orbit. Okay, that's 581 million square kilometres. Well, that's a bigger number, isn't it, Adam? And if we divide 521 by 25, we get 23 square kilometres per spec. And just how big is the ISS? Well, a very generous 100 metres by 100 metres, that's 1/100th of a square kilometre. So that works out to being about one strike every 6 and a bit years. Well, that's not that much, is it, Adam? Seems you have yet another thing wrong. Poor Adam, are you ever going to get anything right, mate?
I don't entirely know exactly what's going on.
Oh, Adam, I wasn't going to show you this Crew 2 capsule piece here, but why not? I got nothing to hide, because I know it really does look like George has put away his satellite drill, and now he's got the fishing line hanging over the top of that black piece of velvet. And oh, look, he nearly dropped the Crew capsule 2 there. Better wind it up real quick. Oh, yes, that is brilliant, isn't it, Adam? I thought you'd like this little piece. Oops, there it goes again. He nearly dropped it a second time. That guy's getting clumsy. George, maybe you should have hooked it up to a drill, had it spinning. Well, if you like what I did, how about you smash all those buttony, clicky, likey things?